Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back to another installment of the Growing with Soul podcast, where we explore the moments and stories that shape who we're becoming. I'm Marisol, and this is where I love to have real conversations about growth, self discovery, and learning to put yourself first. Whether we're diving into books that change our perspective or unpacking personal experiences that teach us something new, this podcast is for women who are done playing small and are ready to embrace their own journey. If you've struggled with putting everybody else first or battled self doubt, you're in the right place. This isn't about perfection, it's about the messy, beautiful process of growing into yourself. So come grow with me. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about being an introvert. If it isn't abundantly clear by now, or if you're new here, that is definitely me. I've been on a journey with being an introvert, essentially. It's something that I've had to learn to accept about myself over the years and has been very much interconnected with my journey with confidence and being a more confident person, which I've been thinking a lot about confidence and what, like, reflecting on confidence levels and what I personally had to really work on in order to become a more confident person. Being an introvert was one of those things. It was a key factor. But I also believe that there are certain things about ourselves that we just can't change. And like I do often say, radical self acceptance is a key component of being a confident person. It's something that I definitely stand by, partially because there are things about ourselves that we just can't change, no matter how much we try to. And it can be an integral part of growing your self esteem, growing your confidence to love those parts of ourselves that we can change. So I want to dig into that specifically when it comes to being an introvert and how that was such a huge part of my journey to becoming a more confident person. To give context, I think it's important to look at the past. So sharing a little bit about myself as a kid. Um, from a very young age, I remember my family pushing me to get out of my shell, which honestly, that whole phrase of like, you need to get out of your shell to this day pisses me off. I was like, leave me alone. Leave my shell alone. Is cute. It's comfortable in here. It's my safe space. So it's clearly it still pisses me off. But that whole like you need to get out of your shell, like quote unquote get out of your shell, like that's like a phrase that it's always going to be something I remember, I suppose, that irks me. But it's something that my family really tried to do. And I don't think it came from a negative place. In fact, I'd say it probably came from a place of love. And it came from like a caring place where they wanted me to express myself and be a little bit more assertive. However, context, one, I was a kid. So like I'm processing all of these things with a child's mind. And on top of that, I am not an only child. I, in fact, have an older sister. And my older sister, very assertive, very outgoing, very much did not know how to be quiet as a kid. So when my parents and my family's like, you need to get out of your shell, it's like, oh, be more like her. That in my little kid's head, it was like, you need to be more like your sister. Which as a little kid, that's not what you want to hear or think you're hearing, you know? But over the years, there was, constant comments to talk more, to be more outgoing, to go out and do so many things that like didn't even interest me, but it was the more outgoing thing to do. And, you know, it was this to be something that I wasn't naturally inclined to be. And again, in my child mind back then, it translated into there was something wrong with me. It definitely felt growing up like I was the odd man out. In my family, everyone else seemed to be very talkative, loud, outgoing, bold. And I was just kind of there, quiet, struggling to make friends, in school. and much more interested in stories than like all the cool extroverted things that like my cousins were doing or like other people in school were doing. And mind you, like I have a lot of cousins. So like all my cousins, again, a lot of them were older than me too. So they had figured out things, developed and grown, that I just hadn't gotten to yet. That probably, if I just would have let myself grow up, I would have grown into certain things. But when I was looking at all of my cousins doing all the cool extroverted things, I didn't see myself in them. I definitely felt like the odd man out a lot. Then come to the point in time in my life where I'm actively trying to change. Like, okay, like you need me to be more outgoing. You need me to be girl, I was never gonna be talkative. Let's just leave it at that. Like I never tried to be talkative. I've put myself in situations where I have to socialize, like go do the thing and talk to people. Yeah, but like me be talkative, no. Like ask me to like walk on water first. Like that's not gonna happen. But I definitely entered a time in my life where I actively tried to change. And I tried to be extroverted essentially, which is sounds so horrible now. Girl, I'm 35. No, I'm 36 now. I don't care about being extroverted anymore. But there was a time in my life where I did. Um, and again, with all the messages of like, be more outgoing, do these things, get out of your shell, it seemed like that's how I was quote unquote supposed to be. So I put myself in more activities, especially in high school, multiple clubs. I was into choirs, I was in honor society. I agreed to go to dances with my friends, even though I had no interest. I didn't want to go to a dance, but I went because it was a thing you all did. Okay. That's what you do in high school. You go to dances. In junior high, I even tried to do sports. I remember trying out for the softball team and it was horrible. It was absolutely. I went to one tryout. Okay, they had multiple tryouts, like multiple days, and I went to the first tryout, and then like they asked a bunch of people to come back to the second tryout. I was one of those people. Weird, but I was, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It was horrible. Okay, softball not my thing. Not my thing. Hand-eye coordination not my thing. Okay, I do jujitsu, and even then with jujitsu, like it's taken me a long time to be able to be like, oh, I see the professor do the move. I understand. That's taken years. So yeah, I'm not the most naturally athletic person. Um, in college, I basically did a lot of the same. I put myself in a lot of different activities. I went to the parties. In college, I wanted to go to the parties a little bit more though, because like again, I was a very sheltered kid to begin with. So I was just like, ooh, life. But again, also very introverted. And my college like roommate and like BFF had done a lot of partying and stuff when she was in high school. So she was like, I don't want to go. I was like, well, I'm not gonna go by myself. So I wouldn't go. But I still did a lot of the clubs, a lot of the like forcing myself to socialize and try a lot of different things that like looking back, if I would have just like sat with myself a little bit and thought about it a little bit longer, it's like that's not for me. Focus on the things that are for me. That one isn't. Needless to say, throwing myself out there, trying to talk to all these people, doing all these different activities, trying out for sports, like I was exhausted. And like I was left tired every time I would try to do these things and not be who I was and try all these activities that didn't even interest me, but I thought I should do them. It left me unfulfilled because again, I was doing something because I thought I should, not because I really wanted to. And I was always left feeling like I still hadn't fundamentally changed as a person. So you have this little introvert trying to extrovert so hard and it's not working because it always feels like such a fucking struggle and you're tired afterwards. And then you're like, I put in all this effort, all this work, and I'm not even different yet. It's so frustrating when I think about it now. So all that leads me to the acceptance where honestly, I'm not really sure when it happened. But eventually, I had to accept that I was never going to be this extroverted, like superstar of like my family's dreams, which again, from my child mind, that's what it kind of felt like. Obviously, as I got older, like one, those comments kind of stopped because it's like, that's just who Marisol is. But like, again, child mind, I was like, this is who my family wants me to be. And it's just not going to happen ever, ever. I would say that the acceptance into like being an introvert happened slowly, especially as an adult, being like left to my own devices with like the free will to gravitate towards whatever really interests me, the free will to do whatever it is that I wanted to do, without that pressure of like, oh, you should do that. You should be more talkative. You should be more outgoing and do all X, Y, and Z and ABC. Like I just found myself doing what I wanted to do, you know? And I found myself staying in more. I found myself prioritizing friends I already had and accepting when I simply don't vibe with people. Like that's totally valid. Because sometimes people just aren't your people, which we'll get into in another episode. But I came to realize little by little as an adult that my introverted nature was not a character flaw that I needed to fix. Having a quiet nature wasn't wrong, that confidence wasn't synonymous with being the most talkative, outgoing personality in the room. I did learn, though, that being extroverted was an important skill set. Like learning how to do those things is important, especially when I would say that our culture, our society definitely values extroversion a lot more than introversion. So it's necessary to be able to extrovert, professionally, perhaps, for example, networking. I've always hated networking. Oh my God. But that's important. Going out there and doing the damn thing, talking to people, all that stuff is very important. It's a necessary skill that I did learn over the years. So I can do those things. And I just know that it is going to exhaust me once I'm done. But being introverted was never something I needed to change about myself. And accepting that, realizing that, was a key component in being more confident in who I am as a person as well. If this episode resonated with you, I love that. Definitely let me know in the comments if it did, if you're a fellow introvert, and if you went on a similar journey as well, accepting that you are introverted. If you are seeing this on YouTube, amazing, welcome, hi. Definitely subscribe to the podcast, give it a like, leave a little comment. If you're listening on it on other platforms, leave a review because that definitely helps. And of course, if you know a little introvert out there who could hear this message needed, share it with them as well. Additionally, I am a certified life coach, and if you would like some help on your journey, some assistance, some guidance, definitely feel free to schedule a discovery call with me through the link in the show notes. And until next time, keep growing.